Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The campaign is Our Ladies of Sorrow. It was written by Kevin Ross. Our game master is Alex Sun, and this is episode 4. Our recap will be given by Nell Hipple as her character, Antonio Argento. So, without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Nell?
June 17th, 2009, Wednesday. I'm glad to see my friends once again, Rooster, Milton, Brenda, and June. It's like the reunion of the Scooby-Doo gang. However, events as of late has shaken me to the core. They went up to the upper floors. I stayed behind because I'm a tenant. However, the memories of that night are muddled. I remember wishing them luck. Suddenly, I was punched by Brenda in the face. Blood poured from my nostrils while I exclaimed the Lord's name in vain. Rooster pointed out that I could have used the fire escape to go up there to scare them. How could I? Even if I wanted to, I wouldn't use the fire escape. I have a limp. Lastly, I wouldn't do such a thing to my friends, especially with a serious matter like this. That moment, I am convinced I must have been possessed. We all retired that evening. However, I saw that woman, the old crone again, when I was washing my face. I recited a prayer, Samuel 22:3-4, to cast the demon out, or at least I hope so. I had to break the news to Laura that we need to move soon, even though this apartment is all we can afford for now. I assured her that it would be the best for the kids. Another strange event occurred the next morning. The desk that Brenda and I pushed into the elevator, it changed into a coffin, and someone or something attempted to get out while the elevator was stuck. I called for maintenance to get us out while Brenda placed herself on the coffin. Fearing for my soul and my friend's soul, I prayed as loud as I could until we got help. I was done. I took Laura and the kids to see their grandparents at North End. I savored that moment of peace. We all grouped up eventually at Dunk's. Brenda, Milton, and Rooster went to an occult store where Kurt's girlfriend got that death moth. It turned out that the person running the place is a hippie banana, in Rooster's words. He also pointed out that in Milton's dream, the name, Tenebrarum, I'm not really sure, was mentioned, and it means one of the three mothers. Fortunately, June knows someone at a more specialized bookstore, while I can call up Freddie, a friend of mine at Miskatonic University, to aid us further. Seeing we barely had any leads, Milton called up the author of the book, Richard A. Hearn, since he read it. The conversation went very well. I pray we all get more answers and not become possessed again by this demon.
Thank you. So, as Andy has said, it is Wednesday, June 17th. It is the afternoon, approaching the evening. Puddles of water have started to pool on the streets because of the recent rain, and you have decided to split up in your journey. Some of you are going to the bookstore, and some of you are heading back to the apartment towards Mary. Rooster and June, you're heading to Jerry Nagel's bookstore, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, it's a place in the Prudential Center. So, it's only a short distance away by train, and you get there without a hitch. The bookstore itself is messy. Now, Jerry Nagel, you can see him at the counter. He's wearing this gaudy green suit. He's got greasy, slicked back hair, a crooked nose, and he's typing away at his computer, most likely bidding on books that sell for a higher value from his reputation. So what would you like to do?
Oh, what are we looking for again, June? Something on the Three Sisters?
Yes. And let's see, there was mention in our notes, something. What was it?
Lavana?
Our Lady Lavana and Our Ladies, Thom, DeQuincy, Lavana, and Our Ladies.
Yeah, so these are It's definitely going to be in the occult section.
Right. We can start looking there. I don't like the look of this guy. You know, my friend said he's kind of shady.
Yeah. Maybe shady guy has shady books, and shady books are what we're looking
Yeah,
for.
that's true. That's true.
Well, let's just wander up and down the stacks and see
That
what we
sounds
can
good.
find.
Yeah, is there
Okay.
like an occult section?
Yeah, there would be. As you head deeper into this bookstore, it's dingy, it's dark. He's typing away on his office, paying you no mind. And I'd like you to make some spot hidden rolls for me.
26 is...
That's a failure.
26 is a... Oh, that's a hard...
Okay, so June, your attention is brought towards these paperbacks. They're all at premium prices, way overpriced. However, Rooster, you actually see that a door to the back storage area is ajar. And looking through that, you think you recognize some of Frank Ryder's things, his possessions.
Well, if the door doesn't say forbidden, do not enter, I go through.
Oh, it says staff only.
Oh, I'm going to push the door so that I don't see the... I've put my hand on the sign accidentally. So I push it open.
Excellent.
Some of his possessions, like not his books, but like the stuff we saw in his apartment, or
That's
like his
correct.
books. What?
The hell is this?
Yeah, you can see some of his rewards just like packed up in some of the boxes, some of the books he's written, some of his first editions that you didn't take.
Do you think Kurt gave those away?
Maybe, but
This looks like the stuff you
yeah.
didn't give to him.
I mean,
Well,
does this...
Well, I mean, maybe the landlord. Maybe the landlord just dropped it off. You know, I mean, like the guy didn't have any family.
Maybe. I'm just going to go ask. So I walk back down the stacks and
Can I help you?
Yeah. So we came looking for certain bits of occult. We recently lost a friend. He passed away.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. What's weird is that you've got part of his collection in your back room.
He straightens up. Well, the owner of the apartment building tasked me to sort through all of those and appraise them.
So that's how you came to have them in your store. Did you see anything interesting? I didn't think there was much interesting. We've actually already gone through them all. We were there the day after he passed away, looking at his stuff.
I don't think you'd understand, sir.
Oh no?
No.
Maybe not. So you're an expert.
That's right.
We are looking for any kind of occult text that deals with the three sisters, the three mothers, Lacrimarum, Suspiriorum, and Tenebrarum.
Without acknowledging you, he turns back towards his computer, minimizes all of the bids he has on different websites, on different tabs, pulls up Google, and he pulls up his database and searches through that. And he finds, and he turns back to you after finding that, yes, he does have a copy of Our Ladies of Sorrow by Thomas de Quincey.
Ah, excellent.
But it's gonna cost you. That's a rare one.
Where is it?
Oh, I think it's in my glass case. It's one of the rarer
glass
books.
case. Let's take a look.
Of course. He stands up, gets his keys, goes up to a glass cabinet, and it is there. $150.
$150. Is it a large volume? Is it?
No, it's pretty.
Would you mind if I examine it?
I can't allow you to do that, sir, unless you've bought the product.
Well, I'm not going to buy the product unless I can examine it.
I can assure you, it's in the best condition.
Well,
What about
I've got this.
Lavana? Maybe
Yeah.
we can strike up some kind of deal. If there's some other book. Does the name Lavana mean anything to you?
That's the title of the book, ma'am.
Oh, Lavana and Our Ladies of Sorrow. I see.
I don't know. I'm willing to spend that kind of money. It's just you seem like you're a little reluctant to let me look at the product before I do it. So we'll go. Did we actually look up other bookstores in the area?
Yes. Look, listen, Rooster, let's just go to Big Time Books and More, okay? Like,
All right, we'll go
this
check.
guy's obviously not going to let us look at his stuff, and I'm not going to bother with this.
Okay. So you head over to Big Time Books and More.
Oh,
which
wow.
is...
We were just using that as a tactic to get.
Oh. I thought you were. My bad. Then in that case, I'd like a persuade or a fast talk roll.
83.
Ah!
Actually, that would be fast talk. Oh, I've only got 5 in fast talk yet. Oh yeah, that didn't work. One more thing as I'm walking out the door.
So I take it that you won't be purchasing this copy?
I think we can probably find it at Miskatonic University if we head on over there.
Good luck.
Probably. Why, you think it's that rare? Isn't
yes.
Quincy a fairly famous author?
Look, you could have it now, or you can drive up all the way to Arkham Country.
Oh. How about $100 sight unseen?
Okay. Fine. Let me get some of the forms, because you do have a genuine first edition. And he walks into the back, into the employees only area. The door closes behind him.
Jerk.
Asshole. He's got to make money though somehow. I thought
I guess so.
tricking him into.
He took the book with him. Did you say that?
No, it's still in the case.
Oh, it's in the case. Yeah, I'm not gonna open the case. If he had
We're
left
not-
it on the
we're not
counter, I would have
thieves.
rifled through it. Yeah. No, I was just gonna see if I could have a look at it while he was busy, but I'm
Oh.
not gonna open up his case.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 minutes pass. Still hasn't come back out.
What's he doing?
doing
Taking
down
a
there?
dump or something? Hello?
No response.
We really are very busy. If we could just hurry this along.
Wait here for a second, Shun.
The smoke
I'm,
alarm starts going off.
I'm gonna go back there quickly and open up the employee door.
Okay, so he's in this tiny employee area, and and smoke hits you like when you open this door, because his possessions, his books, all of that, they're up in flames, and it looks like he's been just set on fire. I'd like you to roll sand, please.
79 is not a pass.
All right, so it's gonna be a D4.
Rooster, what's going on?
He set himself on fire.
What? Shit. I'm calling 911.
There is a key ring on his belt. His burning body.
Is there part of his body that's not burning, like his legs? Can I drag him out of there? Try to put the fire out?
Yeah, you definitely can. And as you, and you're going to enter the room now that's filled with smoke.
Yeah, down low, like they say,
Yeah.
get down and crawl.
So what happens is you get down low next to this musty brown carpet, and you look upward towards this body, right? And his shadow is not right. It starts to float outward, away from his body, and into another dark crevice. And I'd like you to roll Sam again.
Fail again.
Okay, so that's gonna be 1.
1 point. My
Meanwhile,
God. My God. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying to call.
Yeah, you're
911.
calling 911.
Yeah.
They've noticed. They're
Right,
coming.
Excellent.
You managed to drag the body out of the burning back room. What would you like to do now?
I'm yelling for June. Grab the book, get out to the car, and I'll deal with the police when they get here.
All right. You said if it's in a glass case, I'm gonna like try to break it with something, like another big.
I throw her the keys.
Oh.
Okay, sounds good. And now I want you to roll luck, June,
Sure.
as you do that.
No, that's failed.
Okay. So you unlock the case, you take the book, you look up, there's a security camera.
No time to worry about it. I'm just running.
All right,
No,
sounds
actually, oh no, everything's on fire. I was gonna say I'd take some like cash and like throw it down, but everything's on fire now.
All right, you run out. Meanwhile, there's sirens eventually as a fire truck pulls up, as police cruisers pull up. And I'm assuming you get to a safe place, Rooster.
Well, no, I'm actually going to wait for the police.
Yeah, safe place out of the burning building.
Oh, yes, out of the fire, down on
All
the
right.
street.
And out on the street is Ron Paris. This is he's the police detective
Ron.
that you've seen once in a while. Rooster, what's going on?
Dude, we came down here to find a particular book that the bookseller is selling. We were about to make a purchase, and he went into the back room. You can check the video. We were just sitting there waiting forever. And finally, I went to check on him, and he was on fire, like he'd committed suicide or something.
All right, well, I'm going to have to take your statement. This
Of course,
is,
you have to take my
this is
statement.
bad luck. 2 for 2 that you're here.
Just seems to be where, bad luck is right.
All right. Okay. Well, you're going to be occupied with that.
Yeah.
June, you managed to run off.
Yeah.
Excellent. Let's move over to Milton, Andy, and Brenda as you are heading over to the apartment. Brenda's got her car, so she's driving over. On the drive there, the sun begins to set, basking the city of Boston in an orange glow. And she's waiting at this stoplight. It goes. It's a normal drive. Who's in the front passenger seat?
I think Andy would, because it is his apartment. So,
Sounds good. Okay, then you can give me a spot hidden roll.
all right. Nope, failed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think you see the old hag in the rear view mirror, but just a glimpse. Must be a trick. And you're thinking about that until Brenda starts screaming out that she can't see. She can't see, and she's driving down this street as her eyes have started to turn all black and they start glistening in the light.
Brenda?
The car is accelerating. She's freaking out.
Oh,
Milton, Andy, what are you doing?
I would like to.
Yep.
I would like to grab the steering wheel if I can lunge for it from the back seat if it makes sense with the layout of the car.
Yeah, you definitely can. I would say that's a dexterity roll.
Yeah, that's a success.
Okay.
That's actually that's an extreme, actually.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. So you grab the steering wheel. It jerks to the side. You hit a curve as the car heads over, careening into the sidewalk. Fortunately, no one's there. Now make a luck roll.
Success.
Success? Okay. So there is a crash. Only, and I'd like everyone to take a D2 of damage because of your expert reaction speed of grabbing the steering wheel. Unfortunately, the car has dashed itself against the building, especially the driver's side. And there's a horrible just snap. And screaming. Brenda is screaming. Her legs don't look good.
Oh, Milton, how about call 911? I'll stay with Brenda. Hopefully I can calm her down somehow. At least stay with her, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you call the police. They come. Ambulance comes. Brenda's alive. However, she doesn't look good at all. Her legs look messed up. And while they're carrying her away on the stretcher, she's just screaming about this. It's the old woman. And she's saying she still can't see. Who's riding in the ambulance with her?
I will.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. So you ride in the back with her. Eventually, she squeezes your hand, Milton.
I return it.
Right. One of the paramedics says after he's done the all he can. Are you family?
No, just a friend.
Do you know her family? And you would know that she has a sister named Clara.
I know she has a sister named Clara. I could maybe phone her up.
Okay, well, tell her we are heading to Mass General Hospital, the emergency room, and he gives you the information.
Thank you.
Eventually, Brenda passes out. What would you like to do, Milton?
I would like to. I'll call the sister.
Okay. Nathaniel, you pick up because it was a home phone number.
Residence.
This is not the phone of
Clara.
Clara.
Yeah, no, that's my wife.
Oh, I see. I would like to speak to Clara, if that would be at all possible. Something as unfortunate has befallen her sister, and I think it would be good for her to know this as soon as possible.
My God, what happened?
It was a traffic accident.
Jesus Christ. Was it bad?
It was pretty bad. And she's in critical condition right now.
Is Clara home right now, Alex?
Yeah, she's in the next room playing on her. Actually, no, she's doing one of her hobbies.
Just a moment, sir.
I'm gonna go into the other room, put the landline down, and kind of kneel by where she sat and kind of put my arm around her and tell her, hey, Clara, I got a phone call from an acquaintance of Brenda's, and it's not good news. She's been in a car accident and it sounds pretty bad.
Oh, she looks at you with wide eyes and she says, "We gotta go. Do you know where they're keeping her?"
I've got the man still on the line, so let me go finish up with him, and we'll go there right away. Get the car ready.
Okay.
Sir, you still there?
Yes.
So where are they transporting her to?
Massachusetts General Hospital.
Okay. All right. We're going to head over there right away. I appreciate your call.
Okay. Would you like to do anything else as you're sitting in the ambulance?
I think Milton slumps back and with his head in his hands.
Okay. And as the adrenaline wears off, I'd like you to roll a SAN roll. Both Andy and Milton. 0-1.
Failure.
All right, just one. All right, Andy.
Yeah, I got a success in my.
No,
second.
I'd like to know what you're doing.
Oh, I mean, I can imagine that he is coming along. He's not going to leave his friend like that. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Are you going to let anyone else know? That's the thing.
Oh, yeah. Andy would be texting June and Rooster what happened while we were on our way to the apartment, and also mentioned the hag. And yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, so you all get the texts in the group
What's
chat.
up, June?
You're muted.
Oh my god.
What's wrong?
Oh my god. They were in a car accident. Oh my
Oh,
they're
no.
in Mass General. We need to go. They said Brenda's in critical condition.
Oh,
Fuck.
shit. Yep, let's go.
And we all converge once more. You are in the emergency room. It's a pretty sterile place with fluorescent lighting. You're in one of the rooms. It's the curtains been drawn. You're all surrounding Brenda, including Clara and her husband, Nathaniel Pickering. Now, Nathaniel, what do you look like? Who are you?
Daniel's a man in his late 40s. He's tall and pretty lanky and has sort of a shock of blonde hair, rather unkempt. He's got a pair of reading glasses sticking out of his shirt pocket. He's dressed rather smartly, but his clothing is perhaps a little dated, not quite the mode anymore. You could see that he's got an assortment of different pens in his pocket, and he's got a notebook sticking out of his back pocket. And you can tell if you look closely, it looks like, though he looks rather bookish, he's got quite calloused hands.
Nathaniel, is it? I spoke with you on the phone.
Yes, sir. Well, I wish I was meeting you under better circumstances, but yes, I'm Nathaniel. Your name?
My name is Milton.
Milton.
I'm a local janitor, a somewhat acquaintance of your wife.
So I understand that she's been in a wreck, but where were you going? What was happening?
Well,
It's a little hard to explain.
Yeah, Clara is currently holding on to Brenda's hand, just trying to keep back tears, but they're going.
So I'm going to be trying to comfort Clara and Brenda, and just asking, what was there another vehicle that was involved? A drunk driver or what?
This is extremely difficult for me to even start speaking about, as it is rather intricate and unbelievable in its details.
Do you want a cup of coffee? Maybe we
should do this.
leave the room and
Yeah, it's best to let's talk about this outside. Maybe give Clara and Brenda some
a
privacy.
few minutes. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Might I be able
That's-
to ask? Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, as we're going out the door, put my hand on Nathaniel's shoulder and say, "Do you believe in the occult, Mr. Pickering?"
So he's been pretty sullen because of the situation, but he perks up when you say that. And yes, I have a PhD in metaphysics from Miskatonic University.
Oh, well, then maybe that'll help because I think most of us were complete skeptics until just recently.
Tell me more. He takes out.
Well, let's go sit down and get some coffee. Milton had started, so by the time we sit down, then Milton can take over.
So I would like to ask you to start with what has your wife told you about the last couple days?
Pretty much nothing.
Clara? No, I don't know anything about what Brenda was really doing. Clara wasn't talking too much, just this and that, planning a family reunion one day, but nothing about what you folks were up to.
We watched a elderly man be struck by a car while we were eating inside of a diner all together. And the events that followed that have been completely inexplicable to us all and have led us to believe in rather
That there's something
unconventional-
evil. Yeah.
What makes you think that?
Well, when the event, this man getting hit by a car, we didn't all see the same thing. Some of us saw the old man step into the street and get hit by a car. Some of us saw an old woman driving him into the street. Milton chased the old woman, halfway across town to an old apartment building. I saw the old woman too. My other friends didn't see her. It's like she wasn't there. She was invisible or something.
What? I mean, it's a street in Boston. Could have just been too busy to notice?
It wasn't that busy. It was, that's where it started. We ended up at an apartment building that Antonio lives in.
Mm-hmm.
And at first we were just being good citizens and, trying to help the police and try to figure out what the hell happened. And it's gotten progressively weird ever since. We've been seeing this old crone, which we've come to believe might be related to you said you have a degree in metaphysics. Do you know anything about the three sisters or the three mothers, Tenebrarum, Suspiriorum, and Lacrimarum?
Well, Alex, you could either.
Roll on a cult.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, 1.
Oh, wow.
Hell yeah.
Hell of a roll.
You
Yes.
did your thesis on them.
You're familiar
Well,
with
I
the
wrote the book.
concept. You actually have a copy of Lavana and Our Ladies of Sorrow, written by Thomas de Quincey.
Well, shit.
Asked that question, and you mentioned those things, and so he's taking notes and sipping his coffee. And did I hear what you just? Well, I've got something for you back in my shop in Rockport. I've got this book. It's all in there.
Lavana?
Yeah, you know the one.
We just went to a bookstore while they were in the car. We went to a different bookstore, and when we mentioned the book that the guy had, he went in the back room and set himself on fire.
Wasn't my reaction when I got my hands on the book, but it has
Lights flicker.
It's got an effect.
Shit.
Oh no, not
Shit.
again.
I can't believe you got your hands on another copy. Who had this book?
The lights shouldn't be flickering inside of a hospital.
Oh, well,
Um,
backup generator or something.
We think the one that we're actually dealing with is Tenebrarum, darkness, because things are turning dark. We've had lights turn off in the streets. We've had lights in our apartments turn off. And now the lights are flickering here and we're talking about it.
And there was that incident with Brenda and I in the elevator where we're moving my fiance's desk and it turned into a coffin for a moment and the elevator got stuck. That was
these
You've been documenting all this?
well,
Yeah,
yes.
sort of.
Yeah.
the lights flickering tends to precede perilous events.
Yeah, like a David Lynch movie.
A fan as well.
And Andy
Yes.
has been possessed, is what the word we've all decided to use. And we believe the same thing happened to your wife, leading her to crash her car.
Sister-in-law.
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 Sister.
Sorry.
Sister-in-law.
Oh my God. I've been studying this damn near my whole life, and now it slaps me in the face like this. It's not fair.
Well, I'm glad you are excited.
I'm glad
Flickering.
that, maybe you can offer us some help. We've been, not to be funny, but we've been kind of blind by all this weird stuff that's going on.
I keep having these nightmares. Brenda said she had them too.
Wow, this is a lot to unpack, but here's what I'm going to do. I've got a shop that I run back in Rockport. I've got a few excellent employees.
Oh, what
I
are
trust
you
them
up?
completely to run things for me. I can take some time, and this is going to take me at least a few days to learn what you know and see if I can help you. I can make some arrangements and stick around instead of going back home.
I'm curious, Nathaniel, ever heard of an author named Richard Ahern by any chance? We had a talk with him, or Milton talked to him the other day. I'm just curious if you know him.
I do, in fact. Yeah, these pieces are falling into place. What's his involvement with this?
Well, it's the book. Milton have read it. Yeah.
Paramental something.
Yes, he's an author that I've had quite a few dealings with in my research into. It's become such a vulgar word nowadays, but paranormal. I hate the stigma, but yeah, I've had some correspondence with him. He wrote, I think it was the Paramental Factor.
I think it would only be ethical, I suppose, to let you know that people's involvement in this situation has been disastrous for them. Those who are closer to this case are in more danger, it seems.
Well, some knowledge is a perilous thing, though I feel that I've primed myself well in my studies that I could take a calculated risk and become involved in this.
Perhaps you should get back to your wife and take care of her for now. Perhaps tomorrow we can meet. Are you going to be staying in town?
Yes. So
Recommend it.
Brenda live nearby somewhere that we can maybe stay at her place? Or...
Yeah, you definitely can.
Yeah.
So you're going to head back into the room?
I'm going to spend some time with my family and just press and settle into that. Then we can tie in later.
Right. So you head back in. Clara looks up. She's a Hispanic woman in her mid-40s. She looks like she just got dressed like real quick, no time for makeup or anything. And she looks towards Milton. You called, right? Thank you. Thank
No
you.
problem. I couldn't imagine not doing it.
And when you hear Clara, you're like reminded of your Clara. So,
There's another.
yeah, there's multiple Claras.
Okay.
All of these coincidences, but none of it's coincidental anymore.
Why did that guy kill himself? Why did that guy light himself on fire? And he just
seemed
stood
fine.
there.
He seemed fine.
He seemed smarmy, but he wasn't mentally ill. And he just, I mean, there was no gasoline or anything. He went back there and just struck a match and lit himself on fire and then stood there and burned.
I have to say, Rooster, like they're probably going to call us in for questioning. I'm very sure the camera caught
I'm
me
sure. I'm sure
stealing
they
that
will.
book. I didn't want to steal it, but it.
Well, no, you grabbed it, but I'll
But it
just
seems
tell him. Look,
suspicious. It just.
that's why we went there. The same cameras will see that we just stood there and waited for the guy.
Milton sort of spaced out, suddenly says, I'm sorry, Clara, for calling you so late.
Oh no, you're fine. She looks a little confused.
I apologize. It was my fault.
Okay. She takes a seat away from Brenda. If you want to do anything there, she's kind of in and out of consciousness, mumbling things. Like a bad dream.
Milton leaves the room.
Daniel will stay for a little while. If she comes into consciousness for a little while, he'll voice some words of encouragement and confidence. And then the next time Brenda passes out, he'll step out just to give her and the nurses space to do their thing.
Okay. And whoever's in the room, when she does, she starts to mutter. You catch the words Tenebrero. And that's it. She's out.
So I'm going to say Nathaniel heard that and turned
So-
to some of these folks. What? Why would she be saying that?
Tenebrarum. That's the one that we think we've been dealing with. Darkness, the witch. I mean, if she's a witch, it's not really clear what we found so far. That's why we were after that book. You've read it. We need to read it.
This all ties back into that apartment building and Frank Ryder. Is what
Oh,
it
yeah.
is.
Yeah. Is anyone reading
Andy,
the book?
did you guys talk to the old lady? By any
No,
chance? No, you were on.
we
your way
couldn't because of what has happened.
I'm wondering if that old lady is actually tied into this more than we think. She's the only old lady living in the building, and that's where we saw the crone, if we're going to call her the crone. That's where the crone went.
Do you think it's her?
You know, there's possession going on here. I think that if Tenebrarum is a real witch, she might be able to move from body to body. I think she got into Andy. She got into Brenda. I think she got into that dude at the bookstore. She's a
Horrible.
destructive spirit.
What's
going to
happen to us, Rooster?
You know what I saw? I mean, the guy was smarmy, the bookstore guy, but I couldn't just let him burn to death. I tried to get him out. And I crawled along the floor, and I don't think I inhaled enough, toxic fumes to hallucinate, but I saw something black and shadowy come out of him and move into the dark, into the background, into the corners of the room where it was dark. But then it was too late.
June and Rooster, can you walk me through what happened step by step at that bookstore from the time you opened the door to the time it burnt down?
We walked through the door. He was on the computer doing book deals. He seemed like the kind of guy who was into the books simply for the making of the money. We walked through the stacks. We came back. I asked him about the book Lavana.
He had Frank Writer's stuff.
That's true. He
Could
did.
that have any? And he went into the room with all of that. Could it be like his stuff? It all comes back to that damn apartment building.
All he said was that the landlord, which would be the what's their names?
Starla something. I don't.
Yeah, that they had had him just take the stuff out and take what was valuable, and but he didn't seem like, he just seemed like a dude wanting to make money. He showed me the book, charged me $150, or I talked him down to $100. He walked into the back room, and then the next thing we know, he was on fire.
I mean, if we're entertaining outlandish things for a minute here, could it be that this is cursed or something?
Something in his possession. I mean, the one weird thing that what was his name? His name was Milton. Is it Milton? No, that's you. Frank Ryder.
Yes.
No, Frank Ryder.
Yeah,
One weird thing that Frank Ryder had in his collection was Acherontia Styx, the death's head moth. So did, what's his name? He had one too. There's a goth girl in the building that named Maddie. That
It's
I guess
Kurt
when she
Winter.
sleeps with you, she gives you a moth.
Yeah, it's Kurt's girlfriend.
Kurt's girlfriend. Kurt
Yeah.
thinks it's his girlfriend. I think she's everybody's girlfriend.
So you asked about the Lavana book, and
Yeah.
the owner of the shop went back into a room where he had Frank's possessions and writings, and just
He said he was going back to get paperwork to fill out because it was a first edition, he said. And we waited and waited and waited, and then suddenly we could smell smoke and went back there and checked on it. He was just standing there, no smell of gasoline or any kind of accelerant, and he was on fire.
with Frank Ryder's stuff. I'm telling you, there's something going on.
Do you know why
About the apartment building.
might have had all of Frank's work?
Well,
he was
he
told
said
to appraise
that.
it. Yeah. He was
Yeah.
given it by the super.
Right.
Told to appraise it. He's such a slimy dude, though. He'd probably just keep it for himself or sell it for himself.
So he'd take he'd tell them what was valuable and give them
Exactly.
that, but he'd keep the actual value.
Or lowball him. Yeah, he was such a. I mean, I'm speaking ill of the dead here, and I didn't really even know him, but.
But you know, honest to God, I wouldn't really blame him because he's just trying to make a living.
Right.
And you probably don't make much of a living selling old books unless you get lucky once in a while. I mean, you sell antiques, right, Nathaniel?
Yeah.
You've probably got a gigantic shop full of old things that nobody buys.
Frank had the name of that book in his diary. I wonder if he had come to talk to this guy before.
Well,
I wonder if the book was from
Frank's collection.
Ryder's collection.
now, if you were saying that you think that there's something that is moving through people and controlling them,
Just a wild guess. We wouldn't have believed any of this if you told it to us on the street a week ago.
Right. But Andy, I mean, you.
Yes,
thing to the
well, I am a ex-priest. I'm quite familiar with possessions. It's just a surprise that I would be a victim of that, honestly.
now if we're going to suppose and just assume that this is something that is indeed possible, Frank was writing quite a large opus, I'd say, And he was involved with all this somehow. You think that he was involved, this being often, essentially?
What I saw that day, he and she came walking in front of the diner that we were in, and she said something to him, and he suddenly looked at her, and he said, I'm trying to remember, something along the lines of, "It can't be you." And he backed away from her in terror, and she moved towards him, and he stepped into the street and was hit by a car.
He was on to something.
I think so.
Oh, we haven't even given you the history of that apartment building. It's wild.
Terrible.
There's multiple deaths, multiple strange things
The
happen.
top floor is burned out, and they never fixed it.
100 years ago it burned, and they haven't done anything with it.
I bet you that in those works in that shop, there was something that probably could have been useful to us.
Something that she didn't want us to see. Tenebrarum.
It
About
started to look like that.
What about the
there was something
basement?
we could have used to our advantage.
The basement.
Yeah, the
there's
little
so much
creepy
weird
boy,
shit.
that little girl, your neighbor's kid, Andy. She's making all those weird drawings and mentioning this little boy.
I did tell my daughters to stay away, at least stay away from the basement.
You got to get out
There's
of
a
there.
there's a
I
dead
know
kid in
that.
the basement.
Yes.
He died. What was the date? Quite a while back, and all the
Long
little
time ago.
children still
Long
see
time
him
ago.
down there.
At some point, we should flip through this book. I don't know. Maybe it'll. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it would be obviously ridiculous if we could make sense of this and tell you some sort of story. But right now, it just seems like we've stumbled into something that means us harm and means other people harm, and we don't know what the hell is going on.
Well, you're learning things and you're discovering things, and this thing is trying to slow you down, it sounds like.
We're guessing, but we're guessing based on things that have been given to us. We don't know if, for all we know, it could be a serial killer that was hiding in the shadows and doing nasty shit to us. It doesn't seem like that's possible. But she left a dress in my apartment, an old black ball gown.
What?
Yeah, I got home, my lights were turned out. I stumbled around looking for the breakers. I went into the closet and I suddenly put my hands into this fluffy, damask dress and pulled it out. And when the lights went on, it was this black dress like somebody from 100 years ago would wear to a ball. And it wasn't mine.
When we saw that lady, I showed you the picture. Look, I will even show you the picture right now. The article about the opening of that apartment building, and it was the same woman we saw. And
Elizabeth Salmon. Salmon.
So you think that the lady in this picture is the same lady that you saw in the road?
that
Looks
is
just
what
like
we
her.
saw. I mean, or she has I don't know, genetics run strong in the family or something.
Wow, that's there's been a lot of debate in occult academia of whether things like this can even be caught on film. So, I mean, besides this, you might be sitting on something that would completely overrun the academic community in this line of work.
I would think that if it can push you into the street or affect reality, then at that moment, it certainly could be photographed. Why not?
And how long ago was this original article with the photograph written?
1800s,
Yikes.
like late 1800s, I believe.
So
We'll give you all of the material that we've collected so far. We can make photocopies of it and give it to you.
Well,
Yeah, we have Frank's journal. There's all kinds of stuff.
God, I just wonder what he had in that room in that bookstore that's been lost forever.
We got some of this stuff.
We have some of it, yeah.
Okay.
So, Milton, I understand that you have gone to the bar.
Yeah, just sort of in my drinks kind of thing.
Excellent. So this is what happens. You step into this dimly lit bar, and there's a seat open at the counter. The bar itself. Take a seat. There's a fairly younger woman at the bar. She's tending it, and she says, "Hi, my name's Clara. What can I get you?"
Come again?
Sir, what can I get you?
Oh, just a whiskey will be fine.
Coming right up. Name tag. Clara.
Milton will stagger back and then say, what is your hey, what's your name?
My name's Clara. I just told you.
Milton makes his way for the exit, not even particularly fast, just sort of walking speed. Leaves the building, and then as he gains a bigger distance on the bar, he keeps like checking his eyes and blinking and trying to recalibrate himself and see if he's feeling all right.
Well, let's see. Let's make a sand roll for that one. It's just 0-1.
That's a fail.
Okay. So, back of your head, you just think, that makes 3. 3 Claras. Meanwhile, back in the hospital, are you all staying there for the night? Are you going to fall asleep? Are you going to try and keep yourself awake? You heading back? Let me know.
No, I mean, I'm sure Nathaniel will probably stay in the hospital because his wife's there, but
Okay.
well, I'm going home.
I'm going home too. I'm kind of afraid to go home, but
I just live down the street. So
Okay. So, and Andy, you're also heading back to the Three Sisters?
I'm wondering if, depending on the time, he would like to make a confession at a local cathedral.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you step inside. You feel at peace, we think.
Yeah. Andy just takes in the moment. If anything, he feels at peace. This is what he used to do. He'll say a few prayers before stepping into. Hopefully, there's someone at the confession booth. He steps.
Yeah, they can do that.
Yeah.
And they basically ask you, they go through the motions of, and they ask, like, what would you like to confess?
He's stumbling through his words and says that I would like to confess is that that something has happened back in Los Angeles. I think something came back with me that is haunting me. There was this young man who confessed to me of committing murder out of impulse, but he complained that there was an old, long-haired woman who was constantly crying, telling him this. But I pleaded to him to confess to his crimes. I was not sure if I would be I was not sure if I would come to the conclusion that he is possessed or being haunted by something. I advised him to get help. But unfortunately, later on, the news came out that this young man was committing murder. I can't help but feel responsible for not helping him sooner. And now this long-haired woman, it might be coming after me. If anything, I'm confessing for I was not able to help this young man, and now I am pinged for my sins for not helping him. I'm afraid to even tell this to my friends and how they're going to think about this. I almost feel responsible that I might be the one who brought this darkness here. I don't know what they're going to say. I'm afraid they might even cast me away. I just want to build up the strength to tell them. I'm just not sure right now. I fear that my soul is at stake.
Place your trust in God. He is a merciful Father who wants to forgive you. Now, your penance should be service for the community.
Mm-hmm.
3 times a week. And then he goes and does more prayer.
Thank you, Father. I will do that. I'll start as soon as possible. Thank you for listening. What time is it right now? At this point,
It's close to 10 p.m. now. It's getting late.
Yeah. After that, he says thank you and starts walking out of the cathedral. He'll just pay, like, get a taxi or something, and get back home immediately instead of taking the train.
Excellent. So you call a taxi, and some of you head home. Nathaniel, you're sitting there, right? Watching over Brenda with your wife, Clara.
Yeah.
Excellent. There, as you're sitting in the chair, monitors stable, lights flicker again. Clara has fallen asleep.
Had too much coffee recently, so I'm not sleepy, and lots going on, so I'm pretty wired.
Okay.
So I'm just probably reading through a book that I brought because I knew I'd probably be waiting for a while, and maybe writing down some things and thoughts that I have as they occur to me about this whole case.
All right, I'd like you to make a power roll for me, please.
That's a success.
Okay. As you're sitting there, lights flickering occasionally, which is a little strange because once again, you're in the hospital. They should have backup generators. There's not a peep from the outside world. The curtain is drawn. But you're sitting there and hear a woman's voice in the distance.
We were there when you first came into this world. Do you remember? My sister held you in her arms, while my sister gently opened your eyelids with her thumb, and I blew the first breath into your lungs. Likewise, will we be there on your dying day? My sister will hold your hand. My sister will kiss your lips and draw the last breath from your lungs. And it will be my hand that stills your heart.
Do I feel like that was directed at me, or can I just rationalize what kind of weird shit's going on in the hallway?
Oh, you wake up next to Clara.
I'm going to try my best to remember all that and write it down.
Okay.
Is Clara still sleeping?
Yeah, she is.
I guess I'll let her sleep, but that was the weirdest damn thing. Sort of wake up with my reading glasses down low and book on my chest. And the voice stops when I wake up?
Of course. What voice?
It's a little weird. Sounds like some of that stuff these guys are dealing with.
All right, well, I'm going to swap over to Rooster as he arrives home. What are you doing?
Well, I'm going to go in. I'm waiting for lights to flicker, but nothing apparently happens. So I go into my apartment, turn on the lights.
Okay.
It's 10 o'clock, you said?
Yeah, it's about 10 p.m. It's pretty dark.
I look over at my answering machine, see if it's blinking. If it's not, then I will fix myself a drink, a hot toddy, and drink that, think about it for a little bit, and then get ready and go to bed. Probably take a shower before I go to bed.
Okay. Yeah, so you take a shower and you head to bed. Tonight you dream of that same white blizzard. The cracking ice, the frigid cold on your face, and your brother's voice.
Why did you leave me?
I couldn't get to you. You were under the ice. I tried. I didn't want to go in myself.
And then that white, blinding snow turns into darkness. Antonio. Oh, sorry. June. You're heading home.
Yes. Yep, I will get home, turn on every light in the apartment, look in every closet under all of the beds, feed the cats, and go to sleep with the TV on and all the lights on too.
Okay, so yeah, you try to sleep.
Mhm.
Wonderful. Give me a power roll.
That is probably not a success. Let me check. No, that is a failure.
Okay. Well, tonight you toss and turn as your mind just conjures up memories of your ex-husband, Chris. And it's you experience the heavy guilt just weighing heavily in your chest. Why didn't it work out? Am I not good enough?
Yeah,
Horrible.
That'll definitely keep me up. Yeah.
Horrible. Milton, you have walked out of the bar. You've stepped onto the city streets. It's dark. The only lights are from the adjacent buildings, the buildings on either side of the streets and the street lamps.
Completely sober without having actually drunk anything. He's looking for what's the quickest way for him to actually get home.
Probably an Uber. Actually, no, there's no Uber in 2000. A taxi or the
Taxi.
train. The train is still running because
Right,
the
he'll go
last
to the
train
train.
is at around 1.
He'll go to the train and he's reeling, thinking of his ex, Clara, and how he feels that he's hurt her. And on the train ride home, he's almost avoiding people because he doesn't want anyone to tell him that they're named Clara. So he's just keeping a distance.
You notice some old ladies too, like sitting on the train. There's a tiny old Asian woman once again, clutching a plastic bag full of groceries.
Milton,
You think she's looking at you?
I don't return the stare.
Okay. Excellent. So you get off the train and you head home. What's home life look like? Because I understand you spent last night at Roosters.
His home is he's got a television on a wardrobe, and then his bed, and that's his room. And his other room in his apartment is like a hallway with the kitchen. And he gets on his bed. He gets in his bed. He lays down, and his eyes are open, and they remain. He remains just lying down the entire night without sleeping.
Without sleeping. Okay. Yeah, I'll take a power roll for that, though. See if you actually do keep yourself awake.
See,
Succeed? Okay. So then, yes, you do keep yourself up awake. You do not sleep. Nothing happens to you. You lay there in bed, just alone in your thoughts. This lonely, crushing thoughts. And last but not least, let's go to Andy.
Yep.
What is your plan after you step out of the church?
He's gonna call a taxi to get back to the apartment.
Okay.
He's dreading to go back, but he has to face it.
And it's there. It's looming over you as you step out of the taxi. The mural of the three women. They're there. It's almost like they're accusingly staring at you.
Yeah. He's even with the limp, he's going to walk upstairs
Okay.
as carefully as he can, and go to his apartment, apartment 6, if I remember correctly.
Unlocking the door and opening it. Your wife is fiance, sorry,
Yeah.
is asleep
Mhm.
on the couch, and there's like a half-built desk.
Oh. He is not gonna bother her. He is gonna go to the bathroom to take a quick shower.
All right,
And-
so you get washed up and all that. Are you trying to stay up or are you sleeping?
What he's gonna do is that he's gonna say 3 Hail Marys before going to bed. And of course he'll take a check on his daughters, to see if they're sleeping soundly.
They're tucked in, yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And I will take a power roll then.
all right. Oh, that's hard success.
Okay. Yeah, you drift away. And it is the next morning.
Hey, Alex.
Yep.
I'm assuming that we can send text messages and stuff. So
Yeah, you could have exchanged phone numbers and all that.
yeah, so I'm gonna send a text message, maybe make a group chat, and ask them, hey, is there any significance to sisters, 3 of them?
Boy, is there
So you wake up to
type-
the wall.
Everyone is typing.
little bubbles.
Andy is saying yes, 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 and 3.
It's the name of the apartment building that Andy stays in, the Three Sisters. Refers to the 3 mothers, the 3 witches, the 3
You live in an apartment building named the 3 Witches?
No,
three
Andy's gonna,
sisters.
yeah.
Okay.
I lived at 3 Sisters, Texas.
Well, I'd move out of there. Anyways,
Yeah.
so I just explained, and maybe just briefly until we can all meet up in person, that I had a pretty interesting dream last night that involved 3 sisters, and it got pretty wacky, and something about bringing me into the world, taking me out, and this.
We need to read that book.
I think, Nathaniel, unfortunately, you may be initiated at this point into the bad luck club, because we've all had weird dreams.
Do you want to meet for breakfast this morning? There's a little place down the street called Nicobella's.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought we were gonna go back
wait.
to Dunks.
God, Brenda just had to get in a car accident.
All right, so you're heading over to Nicobella's. All right. There's a knock on your door, Andy, as you're getting ready.
Okay. And he opens the door.
It's Kurt.
Oh,
So,
Kurt,
hi.
how have you been?
I've been better, but I'm
But that's
trying to
good.
do stuff that cheers me up. Do you want to like have a dinner at my apartment tonight? Maddie and I will cook.
Sure. That would be lovely.
Great.
Mhm.
Yeah. Any food allergies? I should know.
Uh,
About?
no,
Okay.
no, not
cool.
at all. I'm not picky.
All right, and then maybe we can like watch a movie or something. Just something to get my mind off, our minds off of this weird shit. Can you tell the rest? Like 6 good?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, would you mind if invite my fiance and
Yeah.
my kids?
Yeah, I'd love that.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that would be quite lovely. At 6 sounds great.
All right. Cool. And he looks really happy and runs off.
Okay. And
You are no. Sorry.
Oh, it's
Go.
just that Andy will inform like Laura and also the daughters. Hey, we're gonna have a dinner next door with Kurt and Maddie. It's gonna be quite lovely. At least we're
Yeah,
finally gonna
that
be-
sounds really wonderful, dear.
And I'll help you. I'll help you with that desk. I just need to step out for a moment.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Just don't tire yourself out. Just let me know any emergencies. Please let me know immediately.
You will be the first one I notify.
Okay. Thank you, Laura. And yeah, that's when he goes out.
All right. And you all meet up at this breakfast diner. The food is excellent. So what's your plan for today? Or you've all met up. Nathaniel's there. It looks like Milton has not slept at all. He looks like garbage.
Milton, you're going to have to sleep at some
Where
point.
did you wander off to yesterday anyway, Milton? You just
Well, let me answer one at a time. Rooster, who says I didn't sleep? And June, I thought I'd go home a little early. I was I guess that's not what happened. I went to go drink and it sounds so stupid, but the waitress there was named Clara, and so was
Nathaniel's wife.
Nathaniel's wife, and
Jesus.
it brought me back to places I didn't want to go, and I don't know. I felt we all feel like
We're all under a
this.
lot of stress. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, what's the deal here with the threes and the three sisters? So let me tell you what I heard, and then we can go from there. So, I can't remember it word for word, but there was a distinct voice that I heard as I was drifting in and out of consciousness, sleeping. And it was something along the lines of, we were here when you first came into the world. My sister held you in her arms. Then other sister gently opened your eyes with her thumb, I think. Then the one talking said that she blew the first breath into my lungs, and that they're going to be there when I die too. One of the sisters is going to hold my hand. The other one will kiss me and draw the breath out of my lungs, and the other one is going to stop my heart.
You've just
Sounds like a
told us
poem.
is just about the most detail we've ever heard from these entities.
So what's your involvement with this? What do you know about that? So the apartment building, 3.
Yes, that's where I'm currently staying, but I am in the process of moving. I just need to find an apartment that my fiance and I can afford. It was a hasty decision, but you know, I should have done
I'd rather
research
live
first.
under an overpass than any apartment building called the Three Sisters anymore.
I mean, dude, you've read a lot. So is it something you read somewhere? Some poem? Some.
In a lot of literature, folklore, it goes into the occult as well. I mean, there are themes of 3, so that's not particularly uncommon, though this is pretty specific to what you folks are dealing with now. But again, I don't have enough information to really narrow it down to what exactly we're dealing with here. It's still too general.
Well, you see Andy like take a very deep breath. Well, if you want to look into some type of something happened. This was prior to when I was moving here. There was an incident, at least a big news article in Los Angeles, about a man who have been found committing murder. And he is struggling to say this. This man confessed to me before he was found out. And he talked about how he was driven to murder by a long-haired woman who was constantly crying.
Crying.
Yes.
Lacrimarum is tears. One of the 3 sisters.
And if this makes it any stranger, it was at the Church of Lady Guadalupe. That's where I was when I was a priest. Yeah.
Where was that, in Los Angeles?
Yes. I was a priest at the Our Lady of Guadalupe Church. And this man confessed to me. I didn't jump into conclusions right away because he just sounded very sick. If anything, I have performed some exorcisms.
What's the name of this man?
This man, he did not tell me his name. Of course, these confessions are confidential. Right. But if you can look through the articles back in Los Angeles, you might be able to find it. If anything, I fear that maybe I almost feel guilty, honestly, that I might have brought this darkness back to you. I'm sorry.
No, Andy, you don't have anything to apologize for. This isn't on you.
You're only responsible for something if it was in some way intentional, which of course couldn't be the case here. I think we should look into Mary before this particular lead, though I do think it's real, and we should try to find out. We should try to find out who this murderer is.
Except there is a weird connection there from what you just said, because tenebrarum is darkness. We're seeing darkness. Now you're talking about an old lady who is crying all the time, tears, lacrimarum. Suspiriorum is sighs, whatever that means. But you were saying, Nathaniel, that poem, I opened your eyes, I breathed your first breath into you, sighs. This is all making some sort of weird sense.
Also, poetically speaking, sizes can be yearning.
Yearning, that's interesting.
So what about the Bridge of Sighs? But that holds a different meaning, doesn't it?
I think that's a place, isn't it?
Yes, but it has can't remember correctly. It's a place, but it has something about it's been named the Bridge of Sighs because prisoners walk upon this bridge and they're sighing because they're something like that. You can You're more than welcome to check on that, but that's the only conclusion. That's the only thing that popped up in my head.
Yearning or despair, I think it's maybe a cross-section of that.
Yeah.
So Nathaniel mentions opening the eyes,
Breathing life,
breathing the breath,
using their hand to stop my heart.
and babies cry. And then you get old, you die, they take you back into the darkness.
Well,
There's
some-
tears when people die.
Mhm.
It all sounds very religious.
I wonder
In
if the
some
book
way.
will give us
Yeah.
any more.
Let's
Have you
read
read
the
the
damn book.
Of course, we haven't read the book. Let me take a look at that. Lavana and Our Ladies of Sorrow, Thomas de Quincey. Oftentimes at Oxford I saw Lavana in my dreams. I knew her by her Roman symbols. Who is Lavana? Reader, that do not pretend to have much leisure for very much scholarship, you will not be angry with me for telling you. Lavana was the Roman goddess that performed for the newborn infant the earliest office of ennobling kindness, typical by its mode of that grandeur which belongs to man everywhere, and of that benignity in powers invisible which even in pagan worlds sometimes descends to sustain it. At the very moment of birth, just as the infant tasted for the first time the atmosphere of our troubled planet, it was laid on the ground. But immediately, lest so grand a creature should grovel there for more than one instant, either the paternal hand, as proxy for the goddess Lavana, or some near kinsman, as proxy for the father, raised it upright, bade it look erect as the king of all this world, and presented its forehead to the stars, saying, perhaps, in its heart, behold what is greater than yourselves. This symbolic act represented the function of Lavana, and that mysterious lady who never revealed her face except to me in dreams, but always acted by delegation, and her name from the Latin verb, as still it is the Italian verb levare, to raise aloft. This is the explanation of Lavana, and hence it has arisen that some people have understood by Lavana the tutelary power that controls the education of the nursery. She that would not suffer at his birth even a prefigurative or mimic degradation for her awful ward, far less could be supposed to suffer the real degradation attaching to the non-development of his powers. She therefore watches over human education. Now the word educo, with the penultimate short, was derived by a process often exemplified in the crystallization of languages from the word educo, with the penultimate long. Whatever educes or develops, educates. By the education of Lavana, therefore, is meant not the poor machinery that moves by spelling books and grammars, but by that mighty system of central forces hidden in the deep bosom of human life, which by passion, by strife, by temptation, by the energies of resistance, works forever upon children, resting not night or day any more than the mighty wheel of day and night themselves, whose moments, like restless spokes, are glimmering forever as they revolve. If then these are the ministries by which Lavana works, how profoundly must she reverence the agencies of grief. But you, reader, think that children are not liable to such grief as mine. There are two senses in the word generally, the sense of Euclid, where it means universally, or in the whole extent of the genus, and in a foolish sense of this word, where it means usually. Now, I am far from saying that children universally are capable of grief like mine, but there are more than you ever heard of who die of grief in this island of ours. I will tell you a common case. The rules of Eton require that a boy on the foundation should be there 12 years. He is superannuated at 18, consequently, he must come at 6. Children torn away from mothers and sisters at that age not unfrequently die. I speak of what I know. The complaint is not entered by the registrar as grief, but that it is. Grief of that sort, and at that age has killed more than have ever been counted amongst its martyrs. Therefore it is that Lavanna often communes with the powers that shake a man's heart. Therefore it is that she dotes on grief. These ladies, said I softly to myself, on seeing the ministers with whom Lavanna was conversing, these are sorrows, and they are 3 in number, as the graces are 3, who dress man's life with beauty. The Parcoe are 3, who weave the dark iris of man's life in their mysterious loom, always with colors sad in part, sometimes angry, with tragic crimson and black. The Furies are 3, who visit with retribution called from the other side of the grave offenses that walk upon this. And once even the Muses were but 3, who fit the harp, the trumpet, or the lute to the great burdens of man's impassioned creations. These are the sorrows, all 3 of whom I know. The last words I say now, but in Oxford I said, one of whom I know, and the others too surely I shall know, for already in my fervent youth I saw dimly relieved upon the dark background of my dreams the imperfect lineaments of the awful sisters. These sisters, by what name shall we call them? If I say simply the sorrows, there will be a chance of mistaking the term. It might be understood of individual sorrow, separate cases of sorrow, whereas I want a term expressing the mighty abstractions that incarnate themselves in all individual sufferings of man's heart. And I wish to have these abstractions presented as impersonations, that is, as clothed with human attributes of life, and with functions pointing to flesh. Let us call them, therefore, our ladies of sorrow. I know them thoroughly, and have walked in all their kingdoms. 3 sisters they are, of one mysterious household, and their paths are wide apart, but of their dominion there is no end. Them I saw often conversing with Lavanna, and sometimes about myself. Do they talk, then? Oh no. Mighty phantoms like these disdain the infirmities of language. They may utter voices through the organs of man when they dwell in human hearts, but amongst themselves there is no voice nor sound. Eternal silence reigns in their kingdoms. They spoke not, as they talked with Lavanna. They whispered not, they sang not, though oftentimes methought they might have sung. For I upon earth had heard their mysteries, oftentimes deciphered by harp and timbrel, by dulcimer and organ, like God, whose servants they are. They utter their pleasure, not by sounds that perish, or by words that go astray, but by signs in heaven, by changes on earth, by pulses in secret rivers, heraldries painted on darkness, and hieroglyphics written on the tablets of the brain. They wheeled in mazes, I spelled the steps. They telegraphed from afar, I read the signals. They conspired together, and on the mirrors of darkness my eye traced the plots. Theirs were the symbols, mine are the words. What is it the sisters are? What is it that they do? Let me describe their form and their presence, if form it were that still fluctuated in its outline, or presence it were that forever advanced to the front, or forever receded among the shades. The eldest of the 3 is named Mater Lacrimarum, Our Lady of Tears. She it is that night and day raves and moans, calling for vanished faces. She stood in Ramah, where a voice was heard of lamentation, Rachel, weeping for her children and refusing to be comforted. She it was that stood in Bethlehem, on the night when Herod's sword swept its nurseries of innocence, and the little feet were stiffened forever, which, heard at times as they tottered along floors overheard, woke pulses of love in household hearts that were not unmarked in heaven. Her eyes are sweet and subtle, wild and sleepy by turns, oftentimes rising to the clouds, oftentimes challenging the heavens. She wears a diadem round her head, and I knew by childish memories that she could go abroad upon the winds. when she heard the sobbing of litanies or the thundering of organs, and when she beheld the mustering of summer clouds, this sister, the eldest, it is that carries keys more than papal at her girdle, which open every cottage and every palace. She, to my knowledge, sat all last summer by the bedside of the blind beggar, him that so often and so gladly I talked with, whose pious daughter, 8 years old, with a sunny countenance resisted the temptations of play and village mirth to travel all day long on dusty roads with her afflicted father. For this did God send her a great reward. In the springtime of the year, and whilst yet her own spring was budding, he recalled her to himself, but her blind father mourns forever over her. Still he dreams at midnight that the little guiding hand is locked within his own, and still he wakens to darkness, that is now, within a second, and a deeper darkness. This, Mater Lacrimarum, has also been sitting all this winter of 1844-5 within the bedchamber of the Tsar, bringing before his eyes a daughter not less pious, that vanished to God not less suddenly, and left behind her a darkness not less profound. By the power of the keys it is that Our Lady of Tears glides a ghostly intruder into the chambers of sleepless men, sleepless women, sleepless children, from Ganges to Nile, from Nile to Mississippi. And her, because she is the firstborn of her house, and has the widest empire, let us honor with the title of Madonna. The second sister is called Mater Suspiriorum, Our Lady of Sighs. She never scales the clouds, nor walks abroad upon the winds. She wears no diadem, and her eyes, if they were ever seen, would be neither sweet nor subtle. No man could read their story. They would be found filled with perishing dreams, and with wrecks of forgotten delirium. But she raises not her eyes, her head, on which sits a dilapidated turban, droops forever, forever fastens on the dust. She weeps not, she groans not, but she sighs inaudibly at intervals. Her sister Madonna is oftentimes stormy and frantic, raging in the highest against heaven, and demanding back her darlings. But Our Lady of Sighs never clamors, never defies, dreams not of rebellious aspirations. She is humble to abjectness. Hers is the meekness that belongs to the hopeless. Murmur she may, but it is in her sleep. Whisper she may, but it is to herself in the twilight. Mutter she does at times, but it is in solitary places that are desolate as she is desolate, in ruined cities, and when the sun has gone down to his rest. This sister is the visitor of the pariah, of the Jew, of the bondsman, to the oar in the Mediterranean galleys, and of the English criminal in Norfolk Island, blotted out from the books of remembrance in sweet far-off England, of the baffled penitent reverting his eyes forever upon a solitary grave, which to him seems the altar overthrown of some past and bloody sacrifice, on which altar no oblations can now be availing, whether towards pardon that he might implore, or towards reparation that he might attempt. Every slave that at noonday looks up to the tropical sun with timid reproach as he points with one hand the earth, our general mother, but for him a stepmother, as he points with the other hand to the Bible, our general teacher, but against him sealed and sequestered. Every woman sitting in darkness without love to shelter her head, or hope to illumine her solitude, because the heaven-born instincts kindling in her nature germs of holy affections, which God implanted in her womanly bosom, having been stifled by social necessities, now burn sullenly to waste, like sepulchral lamps amongst the ancients. Every nun defrauded of her unreturning Maytime by wicked kinsmen, whom God will judge, every captive in every dungeon, all that are betrayed and all that are rejected outcasts by traditionary law and children of hereditary disgrace. All these walk with Our Lady of Sighs. She also carries a key, but she needs it little, for her kingdom is chiefly amongst the tents of Shem and the houseless vagrant of every clime. Yet in the very highest walks of man she finds chapels of her own, and even in glorious England there are some that to the world carry their heads as proudly as the reindeer, who yet secretly have received her mark upon their foreheads. But the third sister, who is also the youngest, hush, whisper whilst we talk of her. Her kingdom is not large, or else no flesh should live, but within that kingdom all power is hers. Her head, turreted like that of Cybele, rises almost beyond the reach of sight. She droops not, and her eyes rising so high might be hidden by distance, but being what they are, they cannot be hidden. Through the treble veil of crape which she wears, the fierce light of a blazing misery that rests not for matins or for vespers, for noon of day or noon of night, for ebbing or for flowing tide, may be read from the very ground. She is the defier of God. She is also the mother of lunacies and the suggestress of suicides. Deep lie the roots of her power, but narrow is the nation that she rules. For she can approach only those in whom a profound nature has been upheaved by central convulsions, in whom the heart trembles and the brain rocks under conspiracies of tempest from without and tempest from within. Madonna moves with uncertain steps, fast or slow, but still with tragic grace. Our Lady of Sighs creeps timidly and stealthily, but this youngest sister moves with incalculable motions, bounding and with tiger's leaps. She carries no key, for, though coming rarely amongst men, she storms all doors at which she is permitted to enter at all, and her name is Mater Tenebrarum, Our Lady of Darkness. These were the Semnithiae, or sublime goddesses. These were the Eumenides, or gracious ladies, so called by antiquity in shuddering propitiation. Of my Oxford dreams Madonna spoke. She spoke by her mysterious hand. Touching my head, she said to Our Lady of Sighs, and what she spoke translated out of the signs which, except in dreams, no man reads, was this: Lo, here is he whom in childhood I dedicated to my altars. This is he that once I made my darling. Him I led astray, him I beguiled, and from heaven I stole away his young heart to mine. Through me did he become idolatrous, and through me it was, by languishing desires, that he worshipped the worm and prayed to the wormy grave. Holy was the grave to him, lovely was its darkness, saintly its corruption. Him, this young idolater, I have seasoned for thee, dear gentle sister of sighs. Do thou take him now to thy heart, and season him for our dreadful sister. And thou, turning to the Mater Tenebrarum, she said, Wickedest sister, that tempest and hatest, do thou take him from her. See that thy scepter lie heavy on his head. Suffer not woman and her tenderness to sit near him in his darkness. Banish the frailties of hope, wither the relenting of love, scorch the fountain of tears, curse him as only thou canst curse. So shall he be accomplished in the furnace, so shall he see the things that ought not to be seen, sights that are abominable, and secrets that are unutterable. So shall he read elder truths, sad truths, grand truths, fearful truths. So shall he rise again before he dies, and so shall our commission be accomplished, which from God we had, to plague his heart until we had unfolded the capacities of his spirit.
You're talking about size and being longing and all that, right, Milton? Well, halfway
Yes.
through this, it's talking about the second sister is called Mater Suspiriorum, Our Lady of Sighs.
Does seem almost Freudian in the way that it's talking about symbology, and it seems to have an interest in a unconscious world over a conscious world.
And three again, id, ego, super ego. Why is it
Right.
always three?
So we've got the lines them out here. Our Lady of Sighs, Darkness, and Tears.
I don't know. I don't have much of a head for any of this. Should some of us go see if we can talk to Mary?
Oh, yes, I can go talk to Mary. I'll
I'll
be
come
more than
with you
happy.
if you like, if you want the company.
That would be great. If anything, everyone seems to view her as weird. There might be more to it. Hopefully
Yeah.
it's just rumors.
Maybe we stop by a bakery and like bring her something nice, because we are kind of like intruding on her space a little bit, like some cookies
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, some that's a good idea. An
What do you think, Rooster? You're a bit of an investigator. Do you want to come with us, or are you going to stick around and read?
I mean, if you want me to come along, I'm getting really reluctant to go into that damn building.
I know.
I'll come. Yeah.
I don't want what happened to Brenda to happen to us, and I feel like we need answers.
I don't want the books. What happened to the bookstore owner
that
to happen
too.
to
All
any
of these
us.
terrible things are happening, and it just feels like we're next.
Actually, Rooster, is it possible for you to go back to the bookstore, or it might be closed because of?
I think
of
it's half burnt
Yeah, it's
down.
probably.
there might be
We
something.
could go like drive by and see what the state of it is. Like
there
I
might be
wonder how-
something salvageable, but that
Well,
means
if there was something salvageable, I doubt that it would be in the room where all of the important stuff was, because that's where the fire was.
Hmm.
that's a good point.
There was a large section of Western erotica that I'm sure didn't get burned.
Well, you can stop by and pick up that.
I'll drive by, but
I mean, they're not
I
going to
think
let
we got-
anybody just go in and pick through it, but I don't know.
the question is if the book that we grabbed was actually something in the shop, or if it was something he just grabbed out of Ryder's collection.
Are you friends with the guys over at the fire department, Rooster, or was that Brenda? It might have been Brenda.
Police detective.
Okay.
You can roll credit
Someone-
rating.
I'm wondering, was there like an accelerant used? How did this guy even light himself on fire?
I didn't smell anything. I, honest to God, think that he just lit the hem of his pants on fire and then just stood there. And
People don't go up that. I mean, not people, anything. Like nothing goes up that fast.
he was in there for a couple of minutes before we
That's
even
true. You're
noticed.
right. You're right.
Oh, Andy is gonna pipe up. Well, oh yes, Kurt knocked on the door. He has invited me over for dinner. With Maddie. At 6.
Really?
Do you
Yeah.
want all of us to come?
I mean, I already invited myself. I was not really sure because I already invited myself. I mean, neighbors meet each other, but I cannot help but be anxious, very anxious about it. I'll ask Kurt again if I can invite more people, but it's kind of a small apartment. I was just not sure because there'll be a lot of people. I don't know how much food they're going to make.
Hmm.
Well, you can always just ask.
Yeah, I'll ask him. I think Alex says. I think Andy has like Kurt's number at some point, right? Or
Oh yeah, he's got that. You gonna send him a text or you gonna call him?
he's gonna send a text then, like, "Hey, is it possible if I can invite my friends over as well?"
Yeah, he sends you a message back after. few minutes. I'd love to have him over.
Well, let's
Okay.
bring some extra food.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he sounds in better spirits actually.
Oh,
He's
that's
saying
good.
he's doing a lot better. He's getting his mind off of things and doing things to be happy. And he said he's gonna watch a movie. Hopefully, it's not too scary for the kids. If not, I'll just put them to bed early. If it's gonna be a scary movie.
Okay, so you're driving by Nagel's Books.
I did not pass my credit rating, but
All right, so you don't know anyone in the fire department.
yeah, I'll drive by.
Yeah, so it looks like the back half, the section with the employee area and some books, that's just gone up. It smells like smoke. The front half, the one with his desk and his computer, they're still fine. There's some police tape over the door, but there's no one like on guard or anything.
Okay. Well, if I get caught, I'm insurance investigating, so I can use that as my excuse.
Wonderful.
All right, I'll go in.
Okay, give me a spot hidden.
I got an 89.
Okay. And I'm assuming that's a failure.
That's a pretty bad failure.
Okay, so where are
Oh,
you
wait a
looking in
second. Wait a
particular?
second.
Oh,
Actually,
waiting.
my spot hidden is 75.
If you want to spend
I
luck,
could
you're welcome
spend-
to.
I'll spend 14 luck.
Okay, so it looks like on his desk, he had a book like that he was reading,
Mhm.
and that was it's a book called The Terror That Comes in the Night by David J. Hufford.
Terror that comes in the night. I'll pick it up and take a look at it.
All right. Picking up the book, it's almost like a study about night hags, sleep paralysis, and I do have an excerpt here.
Sleep paralysis again. Let's see. The following outline summarizes the initial findings concerning the nature and frequency of the experience. Description: primary features, definitive. Subjective impression of wakefulness, immobility, variously perceived, paralysis, restraint, fear of moving, realistic perception of actual environment, and fear. Secondary features, reported more than once. Most experiences contain at least one, often more. One, sublime position, very common. Feeling of presence, common. Feeling of pressure, usually on chest, common. Numinous quality, common. Fear of death, somewhat common. Numinous. I'll have to look up that word. Number two, frequency and distribution. Overall, 23% of sample by sex. The difference in number of positive reports is not significant. Pattern of reoccurrence, once only or once and occasionally with intervals of months or years, most common. One or more runs of frequent attacks lasting 1 or 2 weeks sometimes, and frequent chronic attacks over a long period, rarely. So this is telling me about my own experiences of sleep paralysis, that it does often feel like there's something. It's a fairly common experience. Interesting. I'm not sure how relevant, but I think I'll take this little text with me to show the others.
Now make an idea roll.
That is a pass, but let's see, it's a hard pass.
All right, okay. This was on his desk. This is recent. This is something that he was reading.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Probably because he'd gone through some of Ryder's stuff. I wonder if there was something more than what we found. I'm going to work my way back to the burn area and see if there's more notes, a journal, something that survived the fire.
All of Frank Ryder's stuff is just incinerated. His awards that you haven't taken,
Everything.
they've just melted. But the other books, they've just somehow survived.
The other books on
In his backroom storage area. Yeah. Most of them have gotten out okay. The fire department was able to salvage that, but all of Frank's stuff is just gone.
Something directly went after Frank's stuff.
So
The
where
old lady went after Frank and drove him into the street, and he was killed. He was doing research on, we'll assume, Mother Darkness and her relationship to people having sleep paralysis. And I wonder, I'm trying to recall what Richard Ahern's book, Paramental Factor, had to do with sleep paralysis. It seemed to me that it did have a lot to do with sleep paralysis. I shall contemplate these things. I'll grab what I can out of here that seems relevant to the thing.
One more thing in your reasoning. There wouldn't be a reason for Nagel to just look up sleep paralysis related things just from Frank's collection, because you took all of that.
Plus, maybe he was having sleep paralysis as well. Definitely seemed to be possessed by something. I saw the darkness come out of him. I'm going to go to his occult section and see if there's anything that we haven't found that might be relevant to this. You're muted.
So as you're spending a little bit more time in this burnt out bookstore, I'd like you to roll a luck roll, because you managed to slip in without being noticed.
Yeah, I passed.
Okay. So then that means you are unmolested by any passerbyers.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, you're looking through his occult section. You don't find anything relevant towards the three sisters. Maybe like mythology books that include, goddesses in threes.
Right.
But nothing directly.
Is there anything on his computer that he was looking up before he
well, his computer is off and you don't know his password.
Anything else in the glass cases that looks?
Yeah, there's some rare books. There's
Stephen King. What's that doing in here? All right. I think I shall think about these things and take what I have with me.
okay. And then you're going to head over to the three sisters' apartment, meeting everyone up again. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. And I know Andy was getting pastries. You want a Mike's Pastries to get some?
Yeah. June and I decided to get some pastries for Mary.
Okay. Yeah. Goes off without a hitch. Everything seems kind of normal now. But that's because it's daytime. Eventually, you all find yourselves at the three sisters' apartment. Some college kids are just loitering around there, up to no good. One of them's trying to do skateboard tricks off the curb. That's Danny. They pay you no mind. Do you keep going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Going to the apartment.
All right, so you head up the stairs, up to the 3rd floor. They creak every step of the way. And you head over to apartment 10. Who knocks?
I'll knock.
All right. There's some footsteps stumbling towards the door. And door opens up. You can see the chain taut. There's an old woman's face staring at you. The circular eyeglasses. You can see her crimson and pearl, half and half sweater. She's quite short, but she looks at you.
Does she look like the crone?
She does not. Behind her, you can see that her wall is lined with crosses. She hands you a Bible, Andy.
Oh, thank you. I've been meaning.
Wordlessly. Just.
Thank you.
Starts to close the door slowly.
No, Mary.
Stops.
Hello. My name is Antonio. Me and my family just moved here, and here I just want to be, a good neighbor, and we bought some pastries for you.
We're his friends.
And also, Mary, I'm also a man of God as well.
Thank you. Takes the pastries.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if I'm still trying to get to know the tenants here. Just wonder we can talk for a little bit.
Yeah, I'd like persuade with a bonus die.
Okay. With the bonus die, it's just re-roll.
Yeah, an extra percentile die, and then you take the lower.
Oh, still the same, 54. But I'm willing to spend luck to make it into a success.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Love it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
All right, so chain unbolts, unlocks, whatever. All right, come on in. And she opens the door up. Once again, that wall is just covered in crosses. And then the other wall's covered in crosses. And there is an old people smell that just hits you. And she waddles away into the room.
Hey, Mary, you got enough crosses in here? What's the deal?
I'm very faithful.
I can tell. It's are like all the crosses the same? Or like crosses from different eras or something? What does it look like?
Oh yeah, they're all different.
All
it's
different.
like she collects them.
Do you think of these crosses as protecting you from anything emanating from this building?
Vampires.
Nah, there's no such thing as vampires.
Skeptic.
Mary, I'm curious, like how long have you been here at the Three Sisters?
Oh, I've been here for 12 years.
12 years. Ever met Frank Ryder by any chance?
She shakes her head. No, I don't know no Frank.
Oh, I see.
Give me a psychology roll.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh, it's a regular success.
Okay. You think that she's telling the truth, but also not telling the truth? You actually think that she's suffering from dementia.
I see. Well, Mary, you've been here for 12 years, right? That is correct. 12 years?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This is a long shot. Ever experienced anything strange within this apartment for those past 12 years?
No, you're the strangest thing that's walked in.
Oh, well, that's fair. Well, unless everyone wants to take over, he's just kind of like, he has dementia.
Hey, Mary.
Well-
What do you think of your neighbors?
Oh, well. There's that young girl. I don't like how she dresses.
You mean Maddie?
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed a pervert with a camera?
Oh, pervert. I don't know. The only cameraman I know is Bobby.
Do you think anything about him?
I don't know. He takes good pictures, I guess. I don't really interact with him.
Boy, Mary, do you have any coffee or anything? I'm real tired. I just haven't been sleeping.
No,
No. All right, well,
I have tea.
tea? Yeah, it's got caffeine in it.
All right. Well, she gets out of the chair and starts to waddle away to the kitchen at an excruciatingly slow pace.
Mary, I would let me help you with the tea. How about that? It'll go well with the pastries.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many
Tea's in there.
Andy's gonna go in the kitchen making some tea for everybody.
Wonderful.
I'm looking around the apartment for any.
Yeah, same here.
All right, give me a spot hidden.
If she's got a death's head moth on her wall, freak you out. No.
I was successful.
A success?
Yes.
All right, so with your success, we will eliminate any possibility of any like weirdness.
Mhm.
It's just like old lady
Old lady's
stuff.
house. Yeah.
Yeah, she's really religious, but that's the strangest thing there.
So in my making small talk with her about, wanting a cup of tea,
I mean, small talk's being pretty generous.
I'm gonna ask her, you ever have that where you just can't sleep? And I've been having all these weird dreams.
No.
It really sucks. No?
You should go to church more.
George. Been years.
I could tell.
Eventually, Andy just brings the tea to everybody. Like, here's some tea.
Thank you, young man.
You're welcome. And actually, I just went to church yesterday. It's something needed, very necessary.
She nods along.
Okay. Mary, have you ever went to the basement at all?
Oh no.
No?
I can't do all those stairs anymore. I have Todd do it.
Oh, Todd Beach.
He's a sweet young man.
Okay, that's good. I'm curious, do you have any problems with the elevator before? Because the other day, my friend Brenda and I were moving a desk upstairs for my fiance, but it got stuck.
No, I can't say I have.
Say, Mary, do you know Elizabeth Solomon?
No.
No. She's related to the Tenebrons.
Tana, what?
The Tenebrarums.
There's no recollection there.
Nothing. Okay.
I'm just gonna whisper to others that
What was
Like this.
What was the person that was this like invisible thing living in the basement?
Oh, it was
Will-
a child.
child.
William.
William.
Does the name William ring a bell to you?
Oh, he's a cute kid.
Oh.
Oh.
What do you know about William?
He dresses kind of weird, but I seen him running around.
Around where? Outside the basement?
Oh, sometimes he runs on all up and down the hallways, drives me crazy.
And the little girl, what was her name?
That would be
Naomi.
Naomi.
Yeah,
Naomi.
yeah. Little.
You see her too?
Oh yeah. William's
ask her-
always with Naomi.
Oh, all the time?
Yeah.
When you say dress is weird, do you mean like antique, like old clothing?
What do you mean by old?
Like more than a century, maybe.
I guess.
And you have them, the little kids, draw for you?
No. I leave them
They ever
alone.
given you any drawings?
No. They don't give me drawings. I heard them saying that they stash them away in the basement.
I see.
Is there a specific place in the basement, a specific room, or was it just that phrase?
I don't know. I don't go in the basement.
I'm going to drift out the door and into the hallway because I need to catch my breath from the smell.
All right.
Well, it was.
Children stash drawings in the basement. What's that all about?
She shrugs. They need to go to church.
Well, it was wonderful. It was wonderful having tea with you. Thank you for your time.
She just nods sagely.
Thank you, Mary, for your time.
Thank you very much.
We won't take too much. Well,
Oh,
if you want,
what was your name, young man?
Antonio. You can call me Andy. If you want, I'll be more than happy to do Bible study with you every Sunday.
Oh,
That's
pleasure
okay.
to meet you, Andy. And then she doesn't acknowledge everyone else as she pushes you out the door. And you hear a clunk as the lock.
Well,
Oh, that was pretty convincing. She's like, I'm not the witch you're looking for, and we all walk away.
you guys, there
No.
was a part of the basement you tried to get to and you couldn't, right? It was like the boiler
Right.
room.
It was locked.
Locked?
It was
I mean,
locked.
Rooster and I we just spent like 5 minutes or 15.
Yeah,
minutes
it'd be
down there.
the storage room that's locked.
We
Well-
freaked out.
We can get Todd Beach to open it for us, right? I mean,
I thought.
I don't know what would be
Milton-
the reason.
Aren't you guys like handy with that kind of stuff? Milton, Rooster?
Yeah. Rooster and I both know lock picking.
I think we tried, didn't we? And
Well, yeah, but all
we
that
can
weird
try
stuff started
again.
happening to you. Yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah.
Wait,
Nathaniel, did you have a
Todd?
question?
Yeah, Alex, could I make a psychoanalysis check to see if I think what's the nature of her ailment, or if she was purposely trying to just get us to go away?
Okay,
Would be
so
psychology.
psychology would be to do that.
Oh, okay. Forget it.
But from
Psy-
June's role, she seemed like she wasn't really omitting anything.
Yeah. She's
Don't
just-
reckon she was being evasive and just sort of using that as a convenient excuse to get us to take off?
Well, here's the thing. I think, Andy might agree with me on this. Aren't people who suffer from dementia and or drug addiction and or mental illness, aren't they more susceptible to possession? I mean, she seemed pretty religious, so she should be pretty safe. But then you were a priest and you were susceptible.
Yes. It's just the amount of crosses that she has. I just cannot help that she's trying to protect herself from something. She just doesn't seem to remember. That's what
She
I'm
didn't-
thinking.
She didn't act very religious. All she did was say the words, go to church more often.
When you say
I doubt that she's gone to church in 20 years.
When you say that she's susceptible to possession, what are you trying to pin on her? She's apparently only been here for a dozen years.
Well, no, I'm not pinning anything on her. I'm saying that in the same way that we now suspect that Andy was temporarily possessed, we did see an old woman on the street, a physical person coming into this building. It could have been her possessed, and then it let her go, and now she's just the same old dotty woman that she's always been.
Alex, we have a timeline of events for the apartment building, but I think for brevity's sake, it kind of stops, the record kind of stops in the 40s maybe. But
Yeah.
did they kind of keep going, or was there this
They
weird
kept
gap
going.
of okay,
You just need
There's a
to
lot of the
spend more
same.
time at the library
right? I got you.
or the records.
Yeah, I see the latest ones at the 60s.
Okay.
Mario Pignatelli.
I was just curious if there was like a
Yeah,
strange
there's
gap,
there's
and then all of a sudden
still a bit more.
okay. We might be worth tracking down further, especially in light of Frank's death.
Much crazy.
Actually, can Andy take a look around, because I don't know, we have some weird tenants here, to see if someone.
When you say look around, what do you want? Where do you want to look?
I just want to make sure no one's like listening in or something.
And where are you? Have you gone back to your apartment? Apartment
I'm
6?
I just imagine that we were just out in the hallway. On
Oh,
the
yeah, you're in the
third
hallway.
floor. And
Yeah.
Maddie is also on the 3rd floor, right? Or is it 4th?
Yeah. Now that you have asked to see if anyone's listening in,
Mhm.
the door is ajar to Robert Dorder's apartment.
Have we met him? Or
Yeah, he's the creepy photographer.
Oh, god damn it. I don't say it out loud, but I'm just
Language,
thinking.
Andy.
Yeah, he doesn't say it, but in his thoughts, like, that guy again. Rooster.
Just assholes are assholes.
Yeah. Well,
I want to see what the picture, what this business is with the basement. And I think catching up on the rest of the history of this building is a good idea too.
This photographer, why do you have this reaction to him? What, have you talked to this guy
Oh
before?
gosh.
He was going to try to extort us
The dark
because,
closets.
because we were in Ryder's apartment looking through his stuff.
Okay. Well, and do I notice that the door closes after we start the talk?
Yeah.
I think we have to look at the basement.
What time is it? We have that dinner.
Yeah, it's 11.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have time.
With the
Yeah, we
dinner
have-
tonight, we can go look in the basement.
Mhm.
Okay. All of you are going into the basement?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Better
So
do it
you-
in the daytime anyway.
Elevator? Stairs?
Stairs. I don't want to go in the elevator.
Stairs.
Stairs. Okay. Once again, you descend. You were saying, Nathaniel?
Yeah, as we're walking down, I go, this guy is trying to extort you, and that's a crime, You're very worried about him, or?
Well, Nathaniel, we weren't exactly supposed to be in the apartment after Ryder died, but we told him that we were friends,
So this guy
which,
wanted something. He said he was going to turn you in.
well, he wanted money. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I intimidated him so that I told him to fuck off.
Okay, well, that's good to know. It sounds like this is the kind of guy that's fishing for any sort of information. So
It's a reporter.
Everyone in this whole building, except for Andy's family, of course, Andy, sorry. Everyone else in this whole building is just weird.
Well, except the old lady. She just seemed like a dotty old lady.
Well, yeah.
She seems harmless, memory going here and there. So,
So you get to the top of the basement stairs. The light switch is there. The basement is dark. It's cold. You can feel a draft.
I'll just start walking down and
It's
Yeah.
completely dark.
We'll flip on the light.
All right, flip on the light. No light.
nothing. Well,
Anyone have a pocket flashlight?
But then I
Yeah.
would say then you flip it down again and then flip it up and there's light.
I do it a couple more times. It's weird.
No problems.
Darkness.
Maybe. I don't know. Or darkness.
Tends to presage bad events.
Okay. So all of you go into the basement. Okay. And once again, there's the boiler room, there's the laundry machines, there's a workshop, and there is the storage rooms.
I'll try to pick the entrance to the.
No need to roll. You unlock it. There's no stakes here, so clink. You get out your lock picks. You unlock the door. The storage room is filled with it's sectioned off per like each tenant, and there's some cardboard boxes at the edge against the wall, and they're just overflowing with dozens of drawings.
Drawings of what?
So
Who's going in?
these kids are stashing all
I'm going.
Yeah, I'll go in.
Okay.
They're all going in.
What an odd behavior.
Yeah. So there is a picture of a woman kneeling down amid dozens of crosses. And once again, this is all in crayon. Very clearly looks like a 10-year-old drew it. And they're all signed William as well. So in crayon, this woman in black, she's kneeling amid dozens of crosses. Like the whole page is like filled up with crosses.
That's Mary.
Yeah.
There is a lady with 3 dogs on leashes. There's an ornate silver key. There's a golden beetle, as well as dinosaurs eating each other very graphically. Lots of red crayon. And there's more, it looks like cowboys and Native Americans fighting. Once again, liberal application of red crayon. And then there's a picture that catches your attention. It's a man, but his head is a cow skull. Those are at the bottom of the box.
And none of them are signed for Naomi. It's all William.
No, it's all William.
There's a William kid. What do we know about him?
He's
Died.
long- Yeah, he's long dead.
1921, I think he died.
Yeah.
And we can't find any information on what happened. An undisclosed illness.
The man with the cow skull kind of looks like a Georgia O'Keeffe painting.
Yeah. There is one more. There is a picture of a woman standing next to a bridge. She's waving at cars. And but the strangest thing is the water line is drawn above the cars.
Bizarre
Flood.
surrealism.
Yeah, was there some kind of blood around?
Flood?
Yeah.
There's a woman standing next to a bridge, and the water is way up high, covering up everything.
Yeah.
Is she on the bridge?
She's on the bridge. Yeah, she's on the same level as the bridge, not on it directly, but
Right.
Just to make an associative connection, the crosses, biblical floods. I mean, there's something there maybe.
Is the woman near the bridge? What is she doing? She's just standing there. Is there anything that's?
oh, she's
waving.
waving at the cars. And then there's one last painting, crayon drawing that we'll end on. And it is a boy with a sad look on his face while he's lying in bed, and he's surrounded by 3 women. And let's end there.
Excellent. Our players included Holly Buto, Chase Capner, Dan DePaulis, Nell Hipple, and myself with Alex Sun as the Keeper of the Secrets. We have a Discord server where you can chat with our other members. You can set up private games. You can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 a month helps us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.